I'm Chris Costanas, president of Surf Financial Brokers, and today I wanted to cover life insurance for smokers, people who vape, and people who use cannabis. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and that way you can stay up to date on different insurance plans that can protect you, your family, and your business. We all know that rates are generally higher for people who smoke, vape, or use cannabis. The real question is, how much higher is the rate and what is considered usage? Each company has its own underwriting guidelines, but for today, let's just consider this as a general overview and not get too specific or in the weeds. Insurance carriers use statistical data, mortality rates, and things like that to view how these habits affect mortality risk. And the difference in premiums between a smoker and a non-smoker can be substantial, often doubling or tripling your monthly costs. So we're going to start with just traditional smoking, cigarettes, cigars. And one of the first things I want to mention here is the terminology of smoking is kind of old school. Most insurance carriers consider it tobacco usage because not all tobacco usage is smoking. Some people chew tobacco, some people dip tobacco, and it's all going to be considered tobacco usage at this point. And like I said before, it can double or triple your rate, your premium each month. Getting non-tobacco rates can happen for you as long as you've been nicotine free for at least 12 months, and some companies may want 2 years or even 3 years. One thing that comes up here is the usage. Some people will only smoke a cigarette 2 or 3 times a month, maybe in some sort of a social situation. Other people might enjoy a cigar once or twice a month, like if they're out playing golf on the golf course. The thing here is to be careful when you're filling out a life insurance application and be honest. If they find tobacco or nicotine in your system and you tell them, well, I don't smoke, but then you later come back and say, well, every once in a while, I might have a cigar on the golf course. They're going to be a little suspicious about that. So be completely honest on the application and say, I might have a cigarette once or twice a month. Let them know that ahead of time. Vaping and e-cigarettes, whole other situation. Even though it doesn't involve burning leaf like tobacco leaf, the vast majority of life insurance companies treat vaping exactly like cigarette smoking. If they find nicotine in your system and a medical exam will find it for you, then it's going to trigger tobacco usage rates. Now, there is something called nicotine-free vaping, and if you vape nicotine-free liquids, some insurance carriers will classify you as a smoker, and then some won't. So here again, you need to talk to your insurance agent about that ahead of time. Many carriers will still classify you as a smoker because it's difficult to prove the absence of nicotine historically. And the long-term health data on vaping is still being evaluated. A select few carriers will offer non-tobacco rates if you can prove through a clean blood panel, but that's the exception, really. As far as cannabis usage, here's good news, bad news. The insurance industry's view on marijuana has softened significantly over the last several years, but underwriting still varies from company to company. One of the keys here is the frequency of usage. If you are a recreational user and, once a week, 2 or 3 times a month, you could probably sometimes qualify for a standard non-smoker rate or even preferred rates with some carriers. However, if you're a heavy or daily user of cannabis, this will push you into a smoker tier or a rated higher cost category. Also, the way that you're using these products can affect the rates as well. If you're using edibles, or oils, sometimes those are viewed more favorably than smoking or vaping. And they don't carry the respiratory risk associated with inhalation. One of the other little caveats here, and something you want to be careful of, is that if you have a medical marijuana card, and that implies that the marijuana is being used to treat something else, the underwriter for that insurance company is going to want a lot of information on what that something else is. They're going to want to know what you're treating. That can open up a whole other can of worms underwriting wise. So even though it may sound like you're being a little bit more legitimate and saying, well, I'm treating my something with marijuana or cannabis, you might be better off just saying, I have it just for recreational use once a month. The good news is many insurance companies will offer you a reconsideration. And what that means is, there again, if you've been charged tobacco rates, vaping rates, cannabis rates, whatever they are, and you have stopped using those products, depending on the carrier, it might be 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. If you can show that you haven't been using those products for that amount of time, they can adjust your rate down and make it a little bit less expensive for you. All of these companies have different guidelines. Some are more lenient than others. So this is where your best chance of getting a good price is using an independent insurance broker who can shop around your case with multiple carriers, rather than just using an agent who only has one life insurance company at their disposal. If you need life insurance to protect your family, but you're concerned about how much it will cost due to your tobacco, vaping, or cannabis usage, give us a call, reach out to us, let us help you out. Or if you just want to figure this out on your own a little bit, you can go to our website, surffinancialbrokers.com, or our other website, friendswithlivingbenefits.com. You can get a life insurance quote on there, and it will ask you all the relevant questions, and you can get a quote right there. Now, it's going to be subject to underwriting, so it's not going to be exact, but you can get an idea of how much it will cost you for life insurance to protect you, your family, your business, whatever it is. Reach out to us and let us know if we can help you out. Try our life insurance quoting tool, and we hope you can get some good rates, and we want to help you out as much as possible.